Here is the Knitty McPurly sock ruler. And as you can see, it has a needle gauge going all the way from US 15 down to US 0. It gives the US size and the millimeter size, and even has holes for measuring needles that don't have a US size, but it just gives the millimeter size. For example, like so there is no US 12, but that would be 8.5 millimeters. This is a 12-inch ruler measuring from the very bottom up to the top right here. And one of the most interesting parts about this sock ruler is that it has all of these different shoe sizes. So we have US women's, US men's, EU and UK shoe sizes. Now, if a person were to stand with their heel up against this round part, their shoe size would come out to, for example, I'm a women's 10.5. So my big toe is going to hit somewhere in that box. It's a box instead of a line because there's a little bit of wiggle room in the sizes across different brands. But my big toe hits at about 10 and a half inches, between 10 and a half and 10 and 5/8, probably closer to 10 and a half. So that is going to be my shoe size. So if you know someone's shoe size in any of these forms, then you can figure out how big their foot is. Like if you're trying to knit socks for somebody who is not at your house, you can say, hey, what's your shoe size? Oh, you're men's 1.5. Okay, well, this is where your foot is going to land. So this is really handy because you can knit socks for people who are not at your house. Or if you don't want them to know that you're knitting them socks, you can just say, hey, what's your shoe size? That's not weird at all. Okay, so you can use these for either toe up or top down socks. I typically knit mine cuff down, but I knit this toe. It's a little pointy. I'll probably rip it out later, but whatever. You get the idea. So let's say you're knitting your socks toe up. You put the rounded end into the toe, and then you can see how much more you need to knit. So for example, let's say I'm knitting these socks for myself, and I know that my foot is about 10 and a half inches. So in order to accommodate the heel, because here I have the toe there, but I have to accommodate the heel, that's about 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 10 and a half and subtract 2 inches, and I know that I'm going to work the foot of my sock, so I've got a lot more to go here. I need to work until I get to 8.5 inches, and at that point I'm going to stop knitting. And when you measure, you kind of want to give a little bit of a tug so that the socks have a chance to have some negative ease on the foot and fit nice and tight. So that's how you do toe up socks. But what if you are a cuff down girl like me? So here I have a cuff down sock, and I have knit a heel flap and gusset. So what you would do for these is you put your sock ruler into your sock and you pull it up to the heel like that. All right. Now you can see I'm a little further on these ones. I really just knit the toe ones to show for this, but this is an actual sock. So for this one, I'm going to just give it a little bit of a tug, and you can see I still have a bit more to go on that foot to make it the right length, because I'm going to want to knit to 8.5 if I were knitting these for me. That is what I would do. Now, you can knit socks for anyone though, and this is possibly my favorite part, where you can do it from their shoe size, but what if this is somebody who you want to knit socks for a lot? So on the back, what I did is I put a piece of painter's tape, and I marked the members of my family who were willing to stand on this and let their feet be measured. Although, in all truth, this is the only one who is knit-worthy. So, this is Gigi's foot size right here. And so, in pencil, and I really probably could have done it either way, in pencil, I have marked 2 inches below that. So, this is her foot size, and this is 2 inches below. So, this is where I'm going to stop knitting, for example, this sock, which does happen to be for Gigi. So I'm going to stick that in there. And you can see for Gigi, I'm really almost there. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a tug so that it will be nice and tight. And I know that I have that much more to knit until I am ready to start my toe. You can also use this if you are a person who wants to add in your heel later. Like if you wanted to knit the whole tube, start at the cuff or the toe, it doesn't really matter. And if you knit the whole tube and then you want to cut in your heel later, I imagine the best way to do that would be to lay it down over the sock like this. And that way you could see through here where you would want to cut in your heel. And you could place a knitting needle and then remove it. And then you could see where to put your heel in. All right, so that is how you use the sock ruler.